There are some folks really running scared right now, especially in America. If I bought into all the constructs over the past several years, I'd be running scared too. I'd be thinking that I have no footing, and that is because you don't. The foundation you were standing on has crumbled. That is not to say that there is not a new foundation for you to find and to find yourself secure in, but it is going to take some real transformation on your part. I did a video earlier where I said people are encouraging those who are finding themselves unstable right now to go back and find those things that helped them feel stable before, all of the stuff that made them feel secure, all the things that they were able to trust in before, like their degrees and all the things they'd accomplished and all those things. And I'm telling you, those are the things that gave you a false sense of security to begin with. So stop listening to the experts who are telling you to revert back to anything that you were in order to find security. Your security is in transforming who you are and transcending the fears that have come as a result of your studying, practicing, and living according to the constructs and confines that they created for you. So that's what I'm talking about today. I'm pointing out 4 areas that are very important to all of us, but that we need to find some new foundation for in order to stop spiraling and to come up out of the dumps that many of you are finding yourselves in. So we're looking at the 4 areas that are most important to everybody: health, joy, love, and money. But in this video, we'll hit what they've been, but also what they need to become for you in order for you to get out of that spiral and start to rise. You ready? That's what we're doing. Let's do it. Hi, my name is Zara Green, and I'm glad you're here. For some of you, it's a welcome. Others of you, it's a welcome back. There's a split in consciousness right now. For those who are becoming aware of a lot of different things in our world, then your consciousness is increasing, but it can be a very confusing space. My intent right now is to take these 4 areas and to give you some things that are gonna get you a little more grounded to be able to welcome these changes, okay? Health, joy, which equals peace, love, and money. Those of us in the spiritual community have now come to understand that those are the 4 things that really make up abundance. Many people think it's just money. And many people think that if you have money, then you can buy all the rest of those things. In the United States, especially over the last several generations, we have been so money focused. Even our families, look at the past 4 generations. Get an education, get a good job, and from that, then you can have a far better life. Now, I am not blaming the previous generations, because what parents don't want better for their children? And what they had come to learn and to expect was that the more education you had, then the better life you were able to have. And all of that was polarized all the more by mainstream media and corporations and the groups that we learned to become a part of, that we are now looking at and recognizing that for the most part, all of them had their own levels of indoctrination, all to keep us focused on being the best contributing citizens. So in essence, with those 4, what we learned was money was most important. With money, you could then buy yourself some happiness. From that happiness, that included love, which is why I always hated the phrase, everybody's got a price, every woman's got a price. As if a woman doesn't have enough self-love that she's just interested in what you can buy for her. I know that's the case for a lot of them, and it ain't never been the case for me. Also, the lie that said with enough money, you could buy health. And the ways that they tied health and medical, which also equals pharmaceutical, to your getting that good job is with health benefits. Are you in a space where you'd like to talk about it with somebody who's already been through it and who's been a life transformational trainer for a long time? There's a link in the description below for us to do just that. So it wasn't long before people were looking for the good job that had the best medical benefits. So we've got the money that comes from many of the corporations that have all these benefits attached to them that have you indoctrinated into the medical professions that now include psychological help, that both have you now dependent on them. When you go for your medical treatments and your psychological treatments, then they usually include a white slip that have you some kind of pharmaceuticals that all have side effects. If you don't wake up and start seeing that none of this is to your benefit and understand how it's been to your detriment, it's all tyranny. And you don't see how you are part of and have been indoctrinated as part of one of their agents. If you believe more in the people with white suits than you believe in your ability to heal yourself, then you are part of the problem. You don't have to remain there, though. I'm hoping this wakes you up. Can't nobody be responsible for your health more than you. But you've been indoctrinated to believe that you have to go and get these medical examinations every year in order to make sure you get a clean bill of health, when it's obvious the increase in the big C and everything else you can be afraid of have come from these examinations, that people then follow their protocols when there are natural remedies for every single thing there is. You got to change the premises by which you're operating from and understand the machines that are in operation that have you thinking and believing the things that you are thinking and believing. It is my hope that this wakes you up and makes you mad. I have been, for the past 20 years, completely annoyed at people when you try and tell them something about what they call alternative, which actually was the original. And if you go and look at who shut out all the people who were already resolving all these issues for you, then you'll see that it was all about profit. It was all about corporate dollars. It was all about that. And unless and until you have the courage to start looking at that stuff and start recognizing how you have contributed to it, then you will continue to be on that side of consciousness while the rest of us are looking at this stuff and rising. We're rising up out of it. And it's a choice. You don't have to. You can stay right where you are while the rest of us looking around at all of this crap and saying no more. Some of you know that I've been in the personal development space for a very long time. Wrote a book a few years ago on relationships and how to have healthy relationships. Because too many people were following the money in order to have love, or allowing money to be what determines their levels of love. All have been social constructs until you understand that love has nothing to do with anything external. It has everything to do with you. And I don't mean self-care. I don't mean how you provide for and take care of your body. I mean your self-image, not your body self-image. Who are you aside from the body? Because if your love for self has anything to do with your external, then you have no other choice other than to look at other people for their external or what they can do for you, because you don't have a self-image that has nothing to do with this body. Your value is immutable. Your value has nothing to do with your external or what you can provide for anybody else. Even all the things you've learned about love has been within a social construct that is for somebody else's profit, not your gain. Are you in a space where there's so much confusion you just don't know what to do and you need to talk about it? There's an opportunity for you. The link is in the description below. So while money has been the barometer that's been used to determine a person's self-worth, to determine whether or not that person is even worthy of love, listen, y'all better get outside of the US and see how other people live. Your joy shouldn't have anything to do with your money. Your love should have nothing to do with your money. Your health should have nothing to do with your money or your levels of money. And it's why living in other places, nobody can go hungry. There are trees all over this place. There is food all in the forest. Only in the United States is that thing different. You've got to expand what you know. You've got to expand your knowledge in order to change your life. And a lot of the things that they've instituted in the U.S. can be changed if enough of us rise in consciousness and start doing things according to that higher level, high vibing, and get away from the fears. They've scared the ever-living shit out of you. That's what you're running with. You're running with the fears. They don't have to do anything anymore. Honey, their propaganda works. Turn the damn television off. Get to learning something else. Expand who you are, your knowledge, and you can become abundant in every single one of those things. That's what a lot of us are doing. Are you willing to join us? Are you ready to join us? It's your life, baby. Choose it just as it is. Own it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it. As long as you can breathe and learn, it can get better. Ciao for now. Are you in a space where you'd like to talk about it with somebody who's already been through it? Almost any area of life that you are challenged in, I've been through it. There's a link in the description below. I'm looking at this helicopter right now. Central America is loud, y'all. In the spiritual community, abundance has not been limited to money. I love it. Big and loud. The helicopter pass, and here comes the plane. I want to start with the one that makes all the difference in whether or not we're even around to experience the others, and that is health. I cannot see how Big Pharma has played a huge part. And Big Pharma has done that through the medical profession, because the parameter for success in the Western world is how much money you make. So if you have a good paying job, then they've tied medical to that, and they've got you so dependent on making sure you have medical help. And they have made having insurance so important that you don't even recognize that those are fears they've drummed up by creating all of these issues that are so easily resolved. But they've got everybody so afraid of the big C. They've even made it the big C, and everybody's walking around, fuck cancer, when there are remedies for any and every possible thing you could come up with. For those of us who stopped trusting in the medical profession and started depending on ourselves, okay, I keep waiting for this to end. This is obviously not a good day to be on the rooftop. They are working. I will resume this at another location.